The pub, the
A
cafe,
pub.
the town square. All of these things have something in common. They're not home, they're not work, they're something else. They're enjoyable public places where you can meet friends, socialize, or maybe just people watch as long as you're not being weird about it. But these places are becoming more and more scarce. And in car dependent suburbia, they've been erased almost completely, and that's a problem.
I want my pub.
In the 1980s, sociologist Ray Oldenburg described a concept that has existed in cities for centuries: the third place. He defined this as a place nearby that isn't the place you live, the first place, nor the place you work, the second place. The third place is a free or relatively low-cost spot to hang out and talk. Some examples of
Oh my god, as an American dude, this site it's like peering into a fucking portal to Valhalla. Holy shit, look at how nice this looks. Oh yeah, dude, you have some like high density residentials with a cafe on the bottom that you can just walk out and there's a canal. That's the Netherlands? Yeah, I know. He lives in the Netherlands. And there's just like, oh my god.
relatively low-cost spot to hang out and talk. Some examples of third places are French cafes, Japanese bathhouses, libraries, churches, and community centers. When we lived in Riverdale in Toronto, Rooster Coffee was a very popular third place for people who lived nearby. The classic third place in the UK is the local pub, which most people just call their local. I've had a local in most places I've lived. Now, I'm not going to talk about my current local because I don't need you internet weirdos showing up there every night, but
Yeah.
this was our local when we lived in central London. That's real London, not fake.
You Americans and us Americans. Sorry, wait, you non-Americans don't understand. Even this is magical to an American. Oh, it's a pub with benches outside that's enclosed with walls but open to the air and has some shrubbery. This is like a fucking magical place to an American. It's like the most normal shit in the world, but to like we literally don't have these. That's not a joke. These literally aren't a thing. If you go to like a nice city, like a big city, you'll find a couple of spots that are kind of like this, but they're hideously overcrowded because everyone's desperate to be in them. Yeah.
London. This place was a pretty typical British local, a pub in the middle of a residential area within easy walking distance of dozens of houses. After going there for a while, we started to recognize some of the regulars, and there were even toys and a box of Lego for the kids. And since our flat was ridiculous,
Guys, that's how people used to make friends. I know this sounds insane today, but going to the cool hangout spot and just casually talking with people was like the main way people made friends outside of school and work. Still is, not for this generation.
ridiculously small because it's all we could afford in central London, it was nice to have a different place to relax and chat with the neighbors. So we were gutted when the pub closed down and was turned into housing, which kind of
No.
sucked for us.
Well,
but
housing's good.
It could have been worse. It could have turned into a Weatherspoons. Yuck. When you live in a city, you may opt for a smaller house or apartment in order to live where you want. After all, they say the three most important things in real estate are location, location, and I forget the third one, but it's really important too.
I am Posadas.
Anyway, choosing a place to live that has everything you need nearby, accessible without driving, is one of the biggest benefits of living in a walkable city. And one of the
I'm
reasons
pretty sure I've seen places like this, the tables outside the pub. Okay, a clarification that some people aren't getting. I'm not just talking about outdoor seating. In America, you've got consent from this guy to watch a shit. Yeah, I'm good friends with Not Just Bikes, and obviously you guys should all sub to this channel. This is an amazing channel. But you guys need to understand, okay? What we're looking at right here is not just outdoor seating. Hey, Deep Mama. We're not just looking at outdoor seating here, okay? Most outdoor seating in the United States is directly tied towards like a busy restaurant constantly cycling people through, especially in a city area. Not just that, but you're usually like surrounded by cars. Like a lot of outdoor seating in the United States is just a couple of tables propped up next to the sidewalk, which means you're 4 feet away from where the cars park. You can't just chill there because they're trying to turn you over. The goal of a lot of outdoor seating is the same as indoor seating, which is quick turnover. It's different from like a pub as being described here, because you can show up to these places or like a French cafe and just fucking chill. There's no turnover. The waiters are not going to hassle you out, or if they did, you would get mad at them because you're in your third place, you know? Yeah. They do that? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Really, Zan? Can you DM me about that, Zan? Breweries act like this area now. Well, breweries have a tendency to be better about this because you sit there and sip on like beers for 5 hours, you know? Um, yeah. But you can just chill at a bar. You okay? No.
Reason that a smaller apartment is a viable option in a place like this is because there are plenty
At the mall, what you're describing sounds like the food court at a mall. Yeah, the problem is that food courts at malls fucking suck. You are not making friends at a mall food court. You can at a pub. You can go there and have some beers and say, "Oh, hey, oh, whoa, hey, oh," or whatever noises British people make at each other. But malls are disgusting, sweaty, fucking, yeah.
of opportunities for leisure outside of the home. This is where the third place comes
Look
in.
at this! Oh
It's
my
a place
god!
where you can just
Oh my god, dude! It's a fucking town square! Holy shit! You could just sit here on a nice day and just like wave at people. Like literally anyone could do that. Do you have any idea the efficiency of grass touching that you could get here? Americans don't understand. I don't understand. Yes, this middle this Lord of the Ring? What fucking? I'm so sad for Americans. You should be.
be somewhere else to relax or chat with a friend, but it's so much better than sitting in your suburban holding pen, backyard, because you can spontaneously meet up with.
Downtown Seattle does have nice places, but Seattle is very dense, and this is the issue with like American city planning, with a dense downtown area with a bunch of like surrounding like suburban areas. The problem is that the downtown areas are too dense for there to be a good third place because it's too loud and busy to really like sit there, relax, and talk to someone. But the suburban areas around it are too like they're all just fucking houses with like a park now and again. You know, it's not the same. Seattle is better than most places about this. I think there are some nice places that I like to hang out in Seattle, but it's just not the same. We don't treat stuff like this as like a natural part of our built environment. Stuff like this should be as obvious and easy as the way we have parks. Like in America, even in suburbia, parks are pretty common. That like this should be like that. It's like, oh, it's been a while since we've had like a mid-density commercial zone with like a central space that people can chill in, you know? We need to build that right here. There need to be like zoning limits that prevent you from building too much shit without having these, you know? And once they're spread out all over the place, it'll be easy to walk to them, and it won't be like, oh yeah, here's the one downtown spot that everyone in the city runs to.
With other people or get to know your neighbors. If you're my age, or you just have good taste, you might remember a show called Cheers. While the hairstyles haven't held up, the show itself has, and it's actually a really good depiction of a third place. It's a cheap bar with regulars from all walks of life, where people who might not ordinarily talk to one another can form relationships.
This is a real thing that used to happen. You guys know when you watch like old sitcoms and it's like, oh, they all meet at the bar? Haha, how antiquated. This used to be the thing! This used to be normal. Is that true, Deep Mama? That fucking sucks.
It's a place where an erudite, blowhard psychologist like Fraser will hang out with a small-town country boy like Woody. These guys have nothing in common.
Checkmate. That's my king.
Stop! No copyright. Stop! Don't do it.
Except
Stop!
their third place. Third places aren't valuable just because it's fun to hang out and chat, which of course it is, but third places fulfill other vital social functions too. They create social cohesion by bringing groups of people together that wouldn't ordinarily mix.
This is a big one.
For example, a mechanic could meet a financial advisor and exchange each other's services. Sociologists often talk about relationships that they call weak ties, or what normies call the people you kinda know. One thing these researchers consistently find is that many people get jobs through their weak ties. It makes sense when you think about it. I've heard about lots of job opportunities through acquaintances. But when I'm just hanging out at home with my kids, nobody pops in to discuss my career objectives. Third place is
That happens to me all the time. What are you talking about? I'm just chilling at home and then people start shouting my ear off about my job. That's happening right now.
also build neighborhood unity and trust. According to the American Community Life Survey, 81% of Americans who hang out with people they recognize in a
Didn't Starbucks market themselves on being a third place? To an extent, yes. And you might notice Starbucks is like the most popular coffee chain on earth now. Yeah, no, Starbucks does do this. This is why Starbucks has marketed itself in large part on being like the place you can go and bring your laptop to get some work done. People don't really meet at Starbucks that often, but I actually think Starbucks is better in this regard than most other places. I have actually, like, independently seen people meet each other for the first time at Starbucks before. Usually, like, in college towns or around college areas, where I would, like, hang out there to wait for a drink or something, and I'd see people, like, start up a convo. You know, I don't know if that leads to anything, like them being friends or whatever, but it's cool that that can happen there. You can do that at any cafe, no. Are you American? People don't understand how bad it is. You will never understand how bad it gets. But listen, trying to interact with other human beings in America is like a fish swimming through concrete, okay? It's just a blighted wasteland. In terms of social acclimation, it might as well be the post-apocalypse.
third place say they trust their neighbors, while only 66 of people with no third place trust theirs. So a third place can make neighbors less suspicious of one another, kind of like the polar opposite of the Nextdoor app. Third places are also the first spots that new residents in a city might make friends or social connections, and they're essential points of connection for aging adults who lack social opportunities after retirement. Another unexpected benefit of third places is their utility in an emergency.
Mhm.
As community hubs, they're often the first places that can help after a disaster. Baltimore and Minneapolis are two North American cities creating resilience hubs in trusted third places like civic centers and churches. After a flood or fire,
Sorry, just like, hey guys, welcome to the neighborhood. Good luck making friends. See, it's like Demon says, fucking Death Stranding over here. Jesus Christ. You move it, it's like, okay, where do I, um, um, hold on. Breaking Bad, Hank, heart palpitations, GIF after he crashes. Yeah, dude, walking around American suburbia feels like being Hank the whole time. Like you're just like you're like stumbling through this giant like empty road, you know? Where and it's like 50 identical houses on your left and right. Fucking you stumble and knock over a fucking mailbox, but nobody cares because the residents of that house are dead or 800 years old, you know? Fucking oh god.
community members can access informal assistance at a familiar location faster than they'd be able to wait for national aid. In much of North America, however, easily accessible third places have almost completely disappeared. One reason is that zoning makes it nearly impossible to build anything other than single family housing in huge swaths of the United States and Canada.
The fucked up thing, man, is that so much of this, it's like inhuman reptiles built this shit. Guys, do you know how much this area could be improved if one half of this block was not zoned for residential and was instead a tight commercial area right here? No parking. Just this half of the block right here. These 7 houses on both sides, 14 in total. Not for residential, just cafe, mini grocery shop, in like a little block right here. This place would be like bopping. Everyone could walk to it. It would be
It's hard to visit your neighborhood pub when your neighborhood isn't allowed to build a pub. Finding a third place is even harder if you live in a city with strict loitering laws. Loitering is defined differently in different places, but the most broad definition is lingering in a public place for an extended amount of time with no apparent reason.
Yeah, loitering laws are when your cops don't like you.
In other words, hanging out. Exactly the kind of thing you'd want to do outside of homework or school. When I was a teenager, we'd get kicked out of public parks, so we literally just walked around suburban neighborhoods.
Literally, anti-loitering laws were just made so that cops would have an excuse to remove young people and black people from storefronts if the storefront owners didn't like them. That's it. That's literally it. That's not an exaggeration or anything. Fully 100%. It's just like, yeah, if there are young people or black people there that they don't like, now we have like a legal pretense to shoo them off.
And competed to see how many keep off pesticide use signs we could steal. Yeah, I'm serious. That's literally what I did for several years of my life.
This is American suburbia. This is growing up in American suburbia. Okay? This is what we get, all right?
My third place was suburban grass lawns recently sprayed with pesticides. Lacking public space, many suburbanites try to recreate a third place but in their own private fiefdom. You might have a neighborhood barbecue in your backyard, join a private social club, or, God forbid, build yourself a man cave. And the kids will play on their own in your own backyard instead of playing with other kids in your local park.
Cool.
But all of these lack the important characteristics of a true third place. You're unlikely to run into anyone you don't know, and you're almost certainly not going to meet anyone who isn't demographically similar to you. Most suburban neighborhoods in North America are built with all houses at about the same price point. This means that all of the people you'd meet in your homemade hang zone are probably the same socioeconomic status that you are.
This is deliberate designing, and it's a point of capitalist realism. Part of capitalist socialization is making sure you only interact with people in your social class. This is why nobody talks to homeless people. Poor people get in the poor people neighborhoods, rich people in the rich people neighborhoods, and they don't interact. Metro lines will not run from one to another. Main throughputs and arterial roads will be designed to keep you in one section of the town. The goal here is to make sure that everything is always as it ever was. You never get the chance to interact with other people. Whereas 150 years ago in London, during the Industrial Revolution, if you were rich, you know how you got to the factory? The same fucking street as your workers. I don't think you guys understand how much this contributed to contempt for the bourgeoisie. Back in those days, if you were wealthy and you wanted to get to your fucking factory, you had to take the same like horse shit ridden road as the poor people that you were going to be exploiting that day. Sure, you did it in a horse and carriage, but you had to be alongside them. There was no other way to get there. So all the poor people would see how the rich people lived, and all the rich people would look at the poor people as they went to work. I wonder why there were so many more revolutionaries back then, and so many more like diehard union guys who were willing to fight the police. Um, yeah, same reason that that rich people go to private schools instead of public schools. Everything is designed to keep rich and poor people from interacting, so that the poor never get like they never experience the agitation of the inequality, and the rich people aren't compelled towards empathy. Yes, exactly. This is one of the reasons why Bernie Sanders wanted free public college for rich students as well, because it would incentivize them to take public college courses, and therefore to spend time with people outside their socioeconomic strata. Do sub to Not Just Bikes, because they're a really good channel, and I really like them. I really, really like them. I really like the channel name as well, because Not Just Bikes, like the point of that name of the channel, is that like promoting walkable and bicycle-friendly infrastructure is not for bicyclists. It's not like for some specific magical class of people with different interests. It's basic human interest. And he always really stresses that point, and I like that. And I think his channel's fantastic. Not Just Bikes, hello! Ah, you got me. I try to sneak one past you, sneak a little view stealing. No, of course not. I always promote your channel. Oh, true, President Sunday. Good rec. Yeah. We were just enjoying Not Just Bikes. I really struggle sometimes when watching your videos. A lot of non-Americans don't realize how bad it is here, or like non-North Americans. I know that Canada is like that too, like where you grew up. But I was talking earlier, like, yeah, in a lot of America, we don't have third places. Like, there are huge swaths of America where there is literally no place where you can just go to hang out with people broadly, like on its own, you know? And but a lot of people don't get that. They cannot fathom the American wasteland. Here. Not even like Starbucks? Well, there are parts of America that don't have Starbucks, but I want to be clear. A Starbucks on its own is not enough. Just an area that has tables is not enough. We're talking like a space people can go to relax. Oh, not just bikes. I would love to talk with you in the near future. Yeah. Today I haven't even showered, so I got to run off. Um, an actual sociologist. Vaush isn't an actual sociologist. Sorry for the autism. No, I'm not a sociologist. I'm a sociology graduate. I would need to have I would need to have vocational experience for me to call myself one. I do think that I know. I'm close. I'm close enough. I think in terms of like uh, the general tendencies I'll touch on. The main difference between me and somebody with vocational experience in sociology is not analytical ability. It's data processing. Most jobs that sociologists get have a lot to do with like regressive analyses and going over huge data sets and trying to find like correlations. And while I do have training in stats and you know, multivariate regressive analyses and stuff, that's I've forgotten all of that. I forgot all of that. I graduated 3.5 years ago. Okay, I forgot all of that. I remember the analysis stuff. I guess it depends, President Sunday. Wrangling chat doesn't count. Wrangling chat is harder than any goddamn sociology job. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right here. Okay, here. No more delays.
You are. And one of the benefits of a third place is meeting people who aren't exactly like you. And private recreations of public places remove all spontaneity anyway. There's nothing wrong with planning to have friends over, but if it's your only option for socializing, then you miss out on the chance encounters and
This does not exist in America. You know that meme? High density, walkable, blah, 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 it would be illegal to build a many. This is true. That's true here. That's not a joke. It's true. This is actually illegal in a lot of America. Yeah. Yeah, just having like a little backyard table and chair set up. Like you don't meet new people. It's just friends you bring over, right? It's not enough.
bumping into familiar faces like you'd get from your local. Maybe you can drive to your favorite bar, but if you have to drive there, you're probably not meeting people who live near you.
Why is that illegal though? Cars. Cars, 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 cars. It's because of cars. Most, well, not, I don't know if it's most, but like a lot of American, in like, most, no, fuck it. Most of America is so car dependent that like there are legal limits to like minimum parking standards or like how you structure everything in terms of availability. Dude, where does the car go? Bro, where does the car go? Dude, where does the car supposed to fit in this little narrow alley? Dude, bro, like it's so fucked. A lot of American city planners don't see cities as like active places for living. They see them as like a convenient, dense network of shopping and business locales that you need to be able to get to with a car from the suburbs. See, a lot of urban planners and designers are themselves wealthy white guys who live in suburbs full of other wealthy white guys. So they don't think of the city as a living place. They think of it as like a block of high level business industry and commercial districting. And for that reason, they think of a city as like, how do I most efficiently plan how a person in a car would get to this area or that area or this area? They don't think of it as a place to live in or a place to experience anything in. It's just the end of a road.
Bumping into familiar faces like you'd get from your local. Maybe you can drive to your favorite bar, but if you have to drive there,
Is it
you're
possible
probably
to
not
rebuild?
meeting
Yep.
people who live near you. And a place where you go out with friends and never talk to anyone else is very different from the neighborhood pub where you run into the same people on a regular basis. Plus, if you have to drive there, you can't hang out all night getting absolutely sloshed, or at least you shouldn't. North America has a lot of problems with drunk driving due to
Problems? Hey, listen, okay? Make the best of what you can in the situation you're given, all right? Drunk driving is the last gasp of freedom in this blighted continent, okay? It's the only way you can get sloshed and then get home quickly, all right? Listen, you're not going to give us buses, trams, Ubers cost $50 to drive 2 feet, all right? Freedom driving.
its insane zoning laws, but that's a topic for a future video.
Drunk
course, the
drivers
most
aren't the problem. It's drunk crashers. Hey, a drunk driver has never gotten into an accident, okay? It's the car that gets into an accident.
Famous suburban attempt at recreating a third place in Suburbia is the shopping mall. Whether you're a teenager who can't go anywhere without a driver's license or
Hey, guys, quick tip. Never enter a shopping mall with a firearm, because if you do, you will immediately be compelled to kill yourself. Shopping malls are the most disgusting, depressing places in the world, and the only reason people didn't realize that in the 90s is because they were so busy that they focused on the people rather than the setting. Now that shopping malls are dying and they're no longer so busy that they distract you, you realize that they're unimaginably depressing to be in.
a senior who wants to go for a walk, but your suburb has no safe sidewalks, the mall is the suburban alternative to the town square.
Did you guys know that a lot of American suburbia is so car dependent that they don't even have sidewalks? I bet a lot of you can't even fathom that. That was what it was like in my grandparents' house in northern Florida when I would go there and visit them during the summers as a kid. You just drived. That's it. There are no sidewalks. If you wanted to walk anywhere, first of all, I hope you're a champion athlete because you've got a long walk to go down. Second of all, like, you're walking in the street. How do you get around without cars? You don't. That's it. That's the answer. How do you get around without cars, Lil? You don't. That's it. You literally just don't. That's it. There isn't like an edge case here. You just don't. It's like asking, well, how do you breathe without lungs? Well, hey, my guy, I'm really sorry. There actually isn't a plan B.
But we can't rely on malls as third places either.
It's just so hard to explain to people who haven't lived it. Yeah, no, it really is. Yeah, it's so difficult. I wonder if I could find like the city that my that my grandparents used to live in. One second. Let me I don't know if I'll find what I'm looking for here because I haven't been here in ages, but I'm trying to like kind of take a shot, I guess. Yeah, here we go. It's just like if you're here, and these aren't sidewalks on the edge of the road, by the way. That's dirt that piles on the sides because there's no like upkeep here. If you're here, then like where do you walk? Look, people just have cars on their lawn. Cars just piled up everywhere because that's the only way to do anything. How long? If I could like run... Oh, sorry. That's a cul-de-sac. Let's see if we can find anything. Oh, a lot of room for pools. Look at how inefficient the land usage is over here. Literally, like this backyard on its own is enough space to put like 8 dense commercial buildings. Still no sidewalks. Oh, just cars piled up on lawns. How long do I have to go? How long do I have to walk? Keep in mind that the distance we've traveled so far by scrolling on this map is about a 30-minute walk, at minimum. Oh, we found it! Songlike Christian Center, a Protestant basement church. Joel's TV and Satellite, no doubt a tech business that opened in the 90s that's now defunct because everyone has internet, temporarily closed. Oh, look at all that parking space. Well, no risk of not having parking space there. And that's it. That's this lot. There's a basement church and Joel's TV and Satellite. Keep on going. How long till we find even a place to eat? Oh, we're entering the boonies now. Is that a sidewalk? That might be one. Guys, freedom. Freedom to walk. Oh, what is this? Catholic school. Okay. Oh, here we go. We've got a strode. We found a strode, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of. It tapers off. How long till we find anything? Anything? Baseball field? Anything? 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 Chapel? It's just churches. Church preschool, Baptist church. It's just religious buildings. Anything? Ah, I see. We hit the void. Cool. Oh, it's a preschool. Some villas, so that's apartments, I think. More villas. What's the most, like, spooky noise I can do here? Dun, dun. Dun, dun. Dun, dun. Oh, there we go. We found it. If you walk for an hour and a half, you can get to Lowe's and a Walgreens. If people who don't understand why all Americans are mentally ill, here you go, okay? This is the country that I live in. Thank God it's not the city I live in. You've no idea what it's like to live here. Can you imagine being a teenager in a place like this? What do you do? Hey, I'm a teen that lives over at 5710 Linda Street. I guess I'll just die. Yeah, you take Xanax. You do fentanyl.
For one thing, a lot of malls are shutting down. Up to a quarter of them will be gone soon, according to some estimates. And their replacement, the big box store, is even worse. But more importantly, malls don't do what a third place does. They are designed to be attractions that draw people from all over, not just from your local community, and therefore they don't build any kind of social cohesion. You're unlikely to recognize familiar faces at the mall unless you work there, and you're really unlikely to strike up a conversation with any of them. And
Yeah, that just never happens. Nobody is at a mall food court and casually makes a friend there. That can literally happen at a pub or like a real third place. That doesn't happen here. It never happens. It'll never happen. It can't happen. Nobody wants to do that.
unless you're one of those pushy kiosk guys. Some cities are trying to recreate third places themselves. In Washington, D.C., office workers can reserve tables and chairs in certain public parks to work and socialize. But again, this eliminates the spontaneity that is inherent to a third place.
This is literally just like outdoor playtime for office workers. This isn't a third place. Fucking true, Demon Mama. It is impoverished. Yeah, human experience. Every time I see stuff like this, it makes me so depressed. It's depressing! Hey, Not Just Bikes. Fuck you. Not Just Bikes lives in a really cool neighborhood now, in the Netherlands, okay? He made the Faustian bargain where, on one hand, he gets to live in a city that's not designed to make people kill themselves, but on the other hand, you know, he has to contribute to like the Dutch blackface tax, where every year he has to give over fucking 50 euros to pay for these guys and their festivities. It's a trade-off. Honest to God, I'd make the same one. It's soot face in Amsterdam these days. There we go. Gotcha. Surshine's old-fashioned, I guess.
Can't just hop by and see the regulars. It's a whole thing that you have to plan. Also, reserving a public table to do even more work on your laptop is kind of defeating the purpose of a place outside of work.
Yep.
However, one interesting third place that's still hanging on in many places in the US is the local barbershop.
This is so fucking true, dude. Holy shit. I went to a black barbershop one time. This guy fucking domed me. Holy shit, they're so much rougher than white barbershops. Probably because their hair is different. I don't know. Anyway, go into a black barbershop and you're going to like immediately interact with like 6 different people who are friends or related to each other. It's insane. Yeah, I don't, there's like a whole thing here that I'm just not familiar enough with to have any hard lines, but it's true. Also, Not Just Bikes. Props to you for including this, considering the fact that your country's black representation is entirely white guys and black. Good on you for remembering. Sorry. Okay.
This is common in many Middle Eastern cultures, but also in black and Hispanic neighborhoods in the US as well. The barbershop can function as a third place where men can hang out and chat, even if they're not there for a haircut. Of course, there are still historical walkable neighborhoods in North America where third places are more accessible, but...
Okay, so this right here is like the epitome of like wasted potential. This area is really pretty. Why the fuck is there not a cafe with a bunch of tables out? Why are there not benches laid out? Look at this. Look at the corner right there that my cam is blocking. It's just like, oh, it's the brick zone. I like bricks, don't get me wrong, but like, would this not be the perfect area to like inject a bit of life? Yeah, it's run down. Old towns tend to be run down, yeah. Yeah, it's really sad, Not Just Bikes.
More accessible, but unfortunately, their numbers have been declining since the 2008 recession, and the lockdowns during the pandemic accelerated this trend. According to the same American Community Life Survey in 2021, just 56% of Americans report having a spot in their communities they go to regularly. And that was 9 percentage points lower than in 2019.
I guarantee you those 56% are lying too. When you ask an American, is there one local spot you go to regularly? They think of, oh yeah, Macy's at the mall, and they say yes. In terms of how many of them have an actual third place they go to, not a shot in the, like, it's probably like 20%, okay? I do not believe that number at all.
Unsurprisingly, the same survey showed that Americans who do have a local spot generally live in denser, walkable urban areas and not suburbia.
You know what's really cool? My folks actually third place a bunch of places. My parents are doing the like boomer maxing of like, okay, we have some free time. Let's walk to this new pub and go meet some people there. And now they're regulars at a bunch of places and they've made a bunch of friends. My brother actually got a job from there once. Remember how earlier in the video they said that this used to be an easy place to get jobs? My brother got a job once because they were just friends with a person at a pub. And they were like, all right. I guess they're talking like that while they're in the pub, you know? All right. um, it's good. Like, and that's in Los Angeles too. You can make this stuff work if you live in a city. It's mostly suburbia that's mega fucked, but cities are still like 98% fucked.
Ultimately, US and Canadian cities will never have really great third places as long as zoning stays broken. As of right now, third places don't exist in most new neighborhoods in America, mostly because they can't. And trying to recreate their benefits in a world that is specifically designed to exclude.
Hey, yeah, if you're a parent and you have a kid who you don't like and want to get rid of, okay, just live on one side of this street and tell them to pick up milk on the other side of this street. And just do that once a week and, like, swear to God, by the end of the year, your problem will be done with. Holy shit. Oh my God. Look, 50 fucking lanes here. Jesus Christ.
Them is always going to fail. The concept of a third place can seem a bit nebulous at times, and it's easy for people to dismiss it. I've heard suburbanites say, I'd much rather hang out in my basement with my friends than
Cope.
go out somewhere.
Cope.
Which may be true, but
Oh, look at it. It's beautiful. Oh my God, dude. Give me a concrete line where they have bicycle parking and bus stops, then a bike lane, and then densely packed like cafe. Groningen? That's where it is? Is that in the Netherlands? Man, that's so fucking nice.
I really think that some of this sentiment comes from people who have never really had a good third place nearby before, a place you can easily stop by whenever you want without driving and without taking a trip out of your neighborhood, because once you try it, you don't really...
I'm gonna die, bro. I can't look at this. Dude, people in American chatters get, like, depressed looking at this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's not even that special in Netherlands. This is just how they build their cities. They're just better. They're just... people in chat are like, fuck, I'm gonna end it. I can't... Oh, God.
really want to live without it. Ultimately, if a neighborhood truly prioritizes third places, it's going to be
dude. Do you guys remember a while ago when there was a historic church being brought down in England from like the 1400s, and I was like, this sucks, and then Europeans in chat were like, dude, it's just a 14th century church. We have like 50 per block, you know? You guys have no idea. You have no idea how lucky you are, people who live here, okay? Oh, you get to have your morning coffee in this big town square with a bunch of cafes, with the backdrop of this gorgeous fucking cathedral tower or whatever. Oh, great. That's so cool. That's fucking awesome, bro. We have like a Denny's next to an overpass. I walked across an 8-lane strode to get to my goddamn... my fucking breakfast.
a better place to live in general.
No, I
even
saw
when
not
you're
just bikes
spending
because I
time
watch
in
all your
them.
videos.
A neighborhood that plans for third places will necessarily be more walkable, more accessible, and a better place to live. It could even turn your neighborhood into somewhere where everybody knows your name. And speaking of names you know, have you checked out Nebula yet?
Fuck. Oh, God. Do we have to watch the ad now that Not Just Bikes is watching? Wait, somebody link this in chat. Look at this. This road is so wide that there are 6 lights running along it. Look at that. Oh, my God. Yeah, let me just... yeah, sorry. I'm going to be a bit late. It's going to take me an extra 15 minutes. I have to walk across the road. I do wonder if a European country spawned out of nowhere and built its infrastructure from scratch, what it would look like. Hey, things can change, okay? Like Not Just Bikes literally just said, this area right here was a parking lot back in the 60s. It's in one of his videos. This was a parking lot. They made it not a parking lot. There were cities in Europe that were really cool to live in, and then the Luftwaffe bombed them, and then they rebuilt them to be like just car magnets the way America did. There were places that went the other way. There were whole countries that moved from car dependency to non-car dependency. All this can be changed. The nice thing, the nice thing about like building a third place is that it doesn't take that much. Seriously, just a light commercialization in one city block that has some open space for walking and no car traffic. And you've done it. It's actually not that difficult to just make a neighborhood really cool. You know, even though it doesn't fix all the car dependency like around it, it's like you can still do that, you know? Check out Almere in the Netherlands. Is this the place that's really quiet? Is this the quiet city that you went to? Or is this a different place? Almere, a planned city. A planned city. Planned cities tend to go terribly on reclaimed land. Oh, dope. Oh my god, dude. Holy shit. It's literally like 3D renders of something the Saudis would promise to build but wouldn't, except it's real. Oh yeah, sorry. It's going to take me a while to get back. I just have to pass through this gorgeous solar panel disc that we've built like tastefully in the middle of this like planned water square. Hey, no problem. Yeah, we reclaimed all this land from the ocean. Look at this, dude. What the fuck is going on back here? What on earth? Is the top floor of this building at a 15-degree angle? It's the roof, too. The building slants. What? Holy shit. What's going on over here? That's probably an art studio. The building slants. Okay, well, you know, the wacky Dutch. Those wacky guys. Fuck, this place looks so cool, dude. Holy shit. Dutch angle. Ah! Nice. Good meme. Guys, did you know
Advertises third place game.
that Nebula is a place where you can see stuff? Lindsay Ellis makes videos on Nebula. That's actually really cool. Look, even Not Just Bikes knows. Look.
Legal. Lindsay Ellis is even back making videos, but only on Nebula.
That's how I feel too. Because I like Lindsay Ellis videos.
With one subscription, you get access to over 150 creators and over 14,000 titles.
Yeah, go do that. But also watch my videos.
All videos are ad-free and sponsor-free. Plus, there is content exclusive to Nebula, including Nebula Originals, where you'll find long-form...
He said you can skip? Oh, thank God. All right. Good video. Thank you, Not Just Bikes. Everyone sub to Not Just Bikes, or I will personally assault you in real life. Not Just Bikes, don't thank me. Every chance to watch your videos is fantastic. It's so important to remember that there's a better world, you know? Much in the same way that the absence of third spaces can prevent the mingling of the bourgeois and the proletariat. You know, the absence of videos like yours can keep us from remembering that there was a better way to build cities.